Lewis Hamilton is finally feeling confident about next year's W15 as he himself closely monitors the car's progress. The last few years weren't exactly great for him and Mercedes, and Hamilton even went as far as to label the W14 the hardest car he's ever driven. Can Mercedes match Red Bull's dominance next year? Or do we have to wait for 2026 to see some competition in F1? And will Hamilton finally have a chance at the 8th world title? Since 2021, when Mercedes lost their 8th world title in a controversial manner in Abu Dhabi, they have been struggling to improve. They made a significant mistake with the design of their W13 car by trying a new concept that didn't work well. Unfortunately, they continued with the same concept in the following season and only realized their mistake too late. Lewis Hamilton said that Mercedes' W14 car has been really challenging to set up correctly, especially after a setup change during qualifying at the Singapore Grand Prix. He was unhappy about being slower than his teammate George Russell. Both Hamilton and Russell have talked about the problems they faced with the Mercedes 2023 car. It has been difficult to make the car perform well because it has issues with balance and overall performance. Mercedes trackside engineering director Andrew Shovlin mentioned at the Japanese Grand Prix that the team is working hard to make sure the W15 car they use next year will be more consistent and won't have the same problems as the W14. The team has made progress compared to their 2022 performance, but the car from last year, while not great in qualifying, tended to perform better during races. However, the improvement is not enough and they need to find more speed to challenge Red Bull. The competition has become much tighter, with smaller time gaps between cars on the grid. They have a lot of work to do to boost driver confidence. One major focus for improvement is giving drivers the confidence they currently lack. This is a critical area that they are working on with various projects in the pipeline, hoping for positive results. Now reports are claiming that Lewis Hamilton is planning to visit the Mercedes headquarters in Brackley. His purpose is to take a closer look at the 2024 W15 car in the wind tunnel and to check if the engineers and designers have incorporated his suggestions for improvements into the car. In the recent Japanese Grand Prix qualifying, Hamilton was notably slower than the race leader Max Verstappen by nearly a second. Hamilton has been vocal about the difficulties he faced with the W13 car in 2022 and the W14 car this year. He has expressed his belief that Mercedes took the wrong approach in designing their cars this year, which were influenced by the W13. These designs are significantly different from Red Bull's RB19. For example, during Saturday's qualifying session, Hamilton explained that his car lacked rear downforce, making it slow and difficult to handle. He mentioned that Max Verstappen's car had a much better balance and was around 1 second faster. Hamilton seems to understand what's causing the car's problems, but believes the Mercedes design team isn't taking his feedback seriously. He emphasized that it's not his role to design the car and hopes the team will make the necessary changes quickly. Mercedes trackside engineering director Andrew Shovlin assured that the team values the input from both Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. They acknowledge the car's stability issues and are open to making significant changes, not sticking to old concepts. Mercedes is determined to work hard and improve to regain competitiveness in Formula One. But that's not the only thing the qualifying session for the Japanese Grand Prix revealed. Not only Lewis Hamilton, but George Russell too is struggling with their car's lack of downforce and balance issues this season. He is also pushing for significant changes in the car's design for the next year. Mercedes trackside engineering director Andrew Shovlin mentioned that both Hamilton and Russell regularly provide feedback about the weaknesses of the W14 car. While they may have different opinions on what's causing the problems, they both agree that the car lacks stability. This means they don't feel confident entering high-speed corners because they're worried the rear of the car might slide too much, making it difficult to control. Shovlin also emphasized that despite seeing various comments in the media, both drivers are on the same page regarding where the car needs improvement. Mercedes is actively considering their input and is not stuck with old ideas. They've had some tough years and are determined to work hard to regain their competitive edge. According to Andrew Shovlin, it's too early to determine if the design of the W15 is meeting their expectations, but the team is fully committed to putting in the necessary effort. They are making significant changes to the car for the next season, but solving all the handling issues will depend on multiple ongoing projects. While progress has been made, it's still early in the development process to say that everything is sorted. Shovlin pointed out that it's challenging for a team to predict how much better a car will be compared to the competition. Even in the past, some of their best cars didn't initially meet performance targets they had set. However, he emphasized the importance of aiming high because if you don't set ambitious goals, you're probably not aiming high enough. Damon Hill believes that Mercedes may have a championship-worthy car in their plans for the future, but it won't be seen on the track until next season. This year's car cannot be adapted for the significant changes they have in mind. Hill is optimistic that Mercedes has a title contender in the works, but it won't be ready until next year. Mercedes has made notable design changes this season, and team principal Toto Wolff has promised even more significant changes with the 2024 W15 car. Lewis Hamilton is hoping for a car that can compete for victory right from the start of the season and not have to play catch-up. George Russell, Hamilton's teammate, aims to recapture the glory of Mercedes' past championship-winning cars and is taking inspiration from those successful designs. Mercedes wasn't known for excelling in aerodynamics even during their dominant years. The mastermind of aerodynamics has always been Adrian Newey. Mercedes' domination was largely due to their powerful engine and a well-designed chassis. Red Bull Racing RBR had a strong chassis, but struggled with their engine until Honda came on board. Despite this, Newey managed to create a competitive car for them. When Honda improved their engine to match Mercedes, that's when Mercedes' dominance started to wane, especially after a rule change that emphasized aerodynamics over engines. Unfortunately, Mercedes' recent car has not performed well. It's unlikely that Mercedes will be championship contenders in 2024 or 2025. To challenge Red Bull Racing, they would need to excel in every aspect and beat Max Verstappen, which is a tough task. They can only hope for a turnaround in 2026, similar to what happened in 2014 when engine rules changed. However, some doubt their luck will be as good as in 2014 because they no longer have someone like Ross Brawn leading the team. Instead, they have Toto Wolff, who is seen by some as a drama-focused leader. But people often make poor excuses. If Mercedes only won on the engine, why didn't Williams do better? Using Williams as an example to argue against the idea that Mercedes' dominance was solely because of their engine might not be the best choice. Williams was not a strong team during those years. In the 2013 season, Williams with Renault engines only scored 5 points in total and finished in a lowly 9th place in the Constructors' Championship. However, in the 2014 season, when Williams switched to Mercedes engines at the beginning of Mercedes' hybrid era engine dominance, they had a significant improvement. They scored 320 points, which is a massive 6,400% increase, and finished 3rd in the Constructors' Championship, not far behind Red Bull Racing. It's worth noting that Mercedes had different arrangements with their customer teams regarding engine modes and mappings. Mercedes customers had restrictions on how they could use the engine, while Mercedes' own team had more freedom to unleash their engine's full potential when needed. This included famous modes like Hammer Time and Party Mode. But this is not the first time Mercedes are so confident. They had similar expectations for the zero-pod car in the past, and Lewis Hamilton was confident, saying, "If you thought I was fast before, you haven't seen anything yet." However, he ended up being outperformed by his rookie teammate. Even if the new car is closer in speed to Red Bull Racing's RB20, Mercedes still has drivers who aren't as good as Max Verstappen. The team is led by someone seen as unpredictable, and they might make questionable decisions like not pitting when it's crucial. Do you think Mercedes can get back to the winning days? Let us know in the comments below.